In this video, we're going to break down the debt ceiling and history. Why? Because the debt ceiling could have a major impact on your portfolio, and people want to know what to do. I'm Devlin Steele, a data analytics expert with more than 3 decades of experience. I've made it my passion to help people get through tough times. I want to look at the debt ceiling and history, because history tends to repeat itself. You just turn on the TV and what we're seeing in Afghanistan is like another Saigon moment. Government tends to repeat making the same type of mistakes, and once again, they want to be able to spend more money and raise the debt ceiling. Let's take a dive into it. Think of the country's budget in the same way you look at your own family budget. Of course, you can't just raise your debt ceiling and print more money when you want to. You plan your budget around your income. A country's supposed to do that as well. If you decide you want a new house or a car, you look at what you can afford. The country's a little bit different. It doesn't matter what it can afford, it decides what it wants to spend. The way the country used to spend money was conservative. In fact, we ran things so tight that government had to get authorization from Congress before borrowing and then pay it back before borrowing more. Things have gotten really loose over the years, giving broader spending powers to government. To make sure that there were some controls and that government didn't go into unlimited borrowing, they created the debt ceiling, which at times either has to be lowered or raised depending on fiscal needs. Right now, it looks like tax revenue and available cash will only get us to October. Then Congress will either have to raise the debt ceiling or begin defaulting. When you're talking about a country like the United States with global influence, this type of crisis can be serious and far-reaching. A recent comment from the U.S. Treasury makes things clear. A default would be unprecedented and have the potential to be catastrophic. Credit markets could freeze. The value of the dollar could plummet. U.S. interest rates could skyrocket. The negative spillovers could reverberate around the world, and there might be a financial crisis and recession that could echo the events of 2008 or worse. In a personal statement, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen went so far as to say a failure by the government to meet obligations would cause irreparable harm to the U.S. economy and the livelihoods of all Americans. You may be wondering if people are just trying to scare us. The debt ceiling is a serious issue. Can you imagine the U.S. government not meeting its obligations or not being able to fund the government itself? So the question of raising the debt ceiling is really not a question. The real question is how much? You see, when Janet Yellen puts on this big doom and gloom, it serves her interests. She and the Biden administration is all about going big. So it's not just a matter of raising the debt ceiling, it's where they want to raise it to. Remember, they want to put through $3.5 trillion more very soon. Either way, in my opinion, this is bad news for the dollar. Since the Treasury compared what's happening today to the financial crisis in 2008, let's take a look at what gold and silver did then. Gold climbed over 160%, and silver went up over 440%. Markets are impossible to predict these days. The events of 2020 have never happened before, so we don't have data. But as I mentioned, history does tend to repeat itself. Governments tend to spend too much. The Federal Reserve responds by lowering interest rates and printing too much money, and bubbles get created. Just turn on the TV and watch the news, and you feel like you're repeating history every day. The question I have for you is that if you could have known what was going on before the housing bubble popped, before the tech bubble popped, would you have done something different? My education team and myself want to speak with you before it's too late. It's important to understand what is happening so that you can make decisions that are best for you and your family. Whether you want to learn about hedging against the debt ceiling or any other of the worrisome economic conditions right now, go to Augusta Precious Metals website and sign up for our free guide. Better yet, sign up for a one-on-one web conference with me or a member of the Augusta education team. We're here to help. If you enjoyed this content, make sure to subscribe to our channel and check back often for more updates.